I never dreamed or suspected that I'd be the person that had an affair, because you see, I loved you.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved our kids, and I loved God. So I didn't think that this would be us. But the friendship that I was having with someone else turned into something where I was relying on it for appreciation, and someone's telling me I'm beautiful. And I know that if I would have come to you right away and said, I need more from you, I know you would have done anything. And that's why it hurts me that I kept it a secret for so long, the friendship. It was a friendship for a long time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that we can do to avoid an affair. But if you've experienced one, there is hope.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
That's the story that we really want to share, is the story of hope.
It really is. And I remember when some of the signs that I could tell that this was different than a normal friendship is that I started to really want to look good when this person was around, or I really noticed that I was making extra time and even lying to spend time with them. But you see, I found out in life, there's no such thing as a small compromise. It happened. This friendship turned into a sexual affair, something I never dreamed would be us. And I remember when it only lasted a few weeks, and as soon as it turned sexual, I just wanted it to end, and I told him to leave, but then I knew very down deep in my heart that, yeah, God's going to forgive me for this. But I heard the whisper in my heart, you've got to tell Bob, or else this secret that you have is going to drive a wedge into the intimacy that we share together. It was 17 years of a great marriage.
Mm-hmm. And after those 17 years, I had you, my beautiful bride, holding my feet and telling me, that she had, compromised, that she had an affair. And immediately I thought, well, surely it hadn't become something sexual, but it had. And through my questioning and interrogation, all of a sudden, what was normal was turned upside down. All of a sudden, I was faced with a new reality that was completely unexpected. And then in those moments, what do you do? I wanted to flee. I just wanted to get out. I wanted to, fight on some form. And then there's this place where you just kind of freeze and you don't know what to do. But after that moment, I just left and I went to my office. And what I did immediately is I called for help. I realized that we were, in a very desperate place, one where I thought I should have known all the answers. All of a sudden, I was empty. Mm-hmm. I knew no answers. So I called an acquaintance of mine, and he answered the phone, and he asked me this first question. He says, "Who knows?" I said, "Nobody knows." He says, "Good. Let's keep it that way, and I'll call you later this evening." So that evening, we had 3 beautiful children, and we sent them off to their grandparents. And that night, we stared at a speakerphone, not knowing what our future would be. We could hardly be in the same room with each other. But as we began to share and talk, he began to challenge me to cover you. Because everything I wanted to do was to expose her. I wanted to shame her. I wanted to punish her for what she had done for me. But he begins to challenge me to cover her rather than to expose. That night, I had one last question before we went to bed, and it was simply this: what do I do? Do I go to a hotel? Do I sleep on a couch? What do I do tonight? And he said, you're going to get right back into your marriage bed tonight, because you will not spend one night apart from each other, because we will not participate with a spirit of divorce.
I'm so grateful for that phone call. I'm grateful for that night. And I'm grateful that together we called out for help, because that began the rescue. That began hope in a very hopeless and impossible situation.